Welcome to this week's featured episode of the Brew Crew Chronicles. It is a special one. I have Stu from Noble Barrow.
Hey guys, how you doing? Hey, thanks for having me.
You are welcome. Thank you for being willing to have a chat.
It's unreal.
To break the ice, we're both a bit nervous.
I'm not shitting myself.
So I've bought in the Dark World from Buddy Brewing. So we'll give that a crack.
Smells good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. This was the beer that made me go, do you know what? Maybe I don't dislike dark beers.
Yeah, cool.
And then that went down a rabbit hole of black lagers, and like we spoke about the black IPA, and it's
box and what sort of stuff.
yeah, like actually no,
Doesn't have to be thick and heavy.
and bitter and smoky. So yeah, I absolutely love it. So I hope you love it as much as I do.
No doubt.
Today is a really special episode for me because a lot of what I do focuses on bringing the homebrew community together.
Yep.
And I think your vision and passion lines with that too. And we want to talk about, I guess, what we do, what you do, and what we can do for the betterment of the industry.
Everybody. Yep.
So, who is Stu?
Stu's had the shop for 8 years. Hadn't done a lot of brewing before he bought the shop, to be honest.
Really?
Really, truly.
So I have this in my notes, and I was going to say, like, how did you first get into home brewing? So, yeah, go from there.
So I used to work away at sea. I worked away at sea, month on, month off, 13 years. And I was just looking for something to do on my month off. So I just started making my own beer. First ones were just atrocious.
We extract?
Just extract.
Yep.
Didn't really know what I was doing. Just started playing around. And then my lovely wife said, you got to stop going away. The kids had had enough. I'd had enough of going away.
Yeah.
And it was my mate that had the shop in Newcastle. And I walked in one day and I said, I need some casual work. I want to learn a bit more about brewing. Have you got anything? And he said, no, I've got a job for you, but if you want, you can buy the shop.
All in or nothing.
Yeah. So I came home and said, hey, Names, what do you reckon if I bought a brew shop? And she's just got up and it's
How many beers did you have while you were there?
pretty much. 6 months later, I've got the keys to a home brew shop and they've just gone from there.
Yeah, and so like you've really expanded because I see a lot of the stuff you put out, like you're doing all grain and
Yeah,
so did you kind of like jump in and then learn as you went?
pretty much.
Yeah,
I was learning off
wild.
customers.
Yeah,
Right.
Wow.
I fucking know what you was doing. Remember a bloke came in, wanted a part for a grandfather. I'd been there a few days. And I just jumped on the Bevy website. Just fucking thought, oh yeah, that does that. Yep, sweet as. He walked out the door. I jumped on YouTube. What the fuck is this to do? Worked it out.
Well, you've
It's
come
been
a long
one hell of a
way.
ride, yeah. And then not long after that, COVID hit, and it went ape shit. And the way my mate sort of ran the shop, it was a pretty old school basic brew shop, you know.
Yeah.
You needed to know the price of everything in your head, or it had a price sticker on it.
Yeah, okay.
So we got into that point of sale stuff, and my wife's, she's really clever on computers and all that sort of stuff. So we got the point of sale going and started to build the online store. Had inventory and I knew what stuff was and where to get it from. And then I brought in grain, but there was only a few. The way the shop ran was there wasn't a lot of grain brewers there really.
Yeah.
And I saw the opportunity for that. And people were coming in when I first took it over and said, hey, can you get some grain in there? So, fuck it, here we go. So I got grain in and it's just sort of gone from there.
Yeah, that is so wicked. So I really want to focus on, to start with, what you think homebrewing is. Like, what does homebrewing bring to people? Like, I know it seems like, oh, you know, we're brewing beer to get pissed and cheap piss and whatever. For me, there's so much
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. It's nothing to do. For me, I don't do it to make cheap booze,
Yeah.
given the sauce. Obviously, I like the result, but I really enjoy the process.
Mhm.
And big fan of when my mates come around, we'll have the barbecue, the smokers on, I'm brewing a beer, and they're drinking 5 years going, fucking how good's this, you know? And then they start brewing, and then they tell a mate, or mate brings me, comes in the shop and goes, you know, what's the go? And like teaching people too.
I love
It's
how,
about the community.
yeah, it brings people together.
It does.
You know, I can remember my first ever experience of home brewing. I would be 5, maybe 6. And Dad's walking across the road with the across the road neighbour.
Yep.
And he's got his home brew in his hand. Dad had just set up his brew fridge with a keg, and they're sitting around. And, you know, in that moment, I'm like, oh, this is so boring.
Mm.
But now I look at it and I think how cool that they bonded over
That's
that. That's what got Dad into home brewing,
Yep.
who now has a family business, who supports, you know, not only me, but my brother.
Yep.
And, you know, it carries on. That one little conversation about, oh, I'm brewing beer, you should give it a try.
Planted the seed.
You know, and look where we are now,
It's huge.
which is just absolutely wild. What do you think is often misunderstood about home brewing?
That homebrew, I think a lot of people still think homebrew is what your grandfather made that took your head off, that you had one and you woke up in the morning, the fuck's happened.
Yeah.
Exploding bottles, all that sort of stuff. They're the myths that I try and break and try and show people that with all the yeast that's available and the different hops and stuff that's available now, you can make whatever you want.
And good quality.
And it's good quality. You know?
I do remember having an elderly gentleman come in and he's like, I want to hit 8%. I want to do it with extract. How many bags of dextrose do I need? And I was like, oh, danger.
But that's what I want.
Yeah, but that's few and far between.
Yeah, it is now.
I think we've seen a really big shift, especially probably since kind of COVID,
Yep.
where craft beer, good beer, is really expensive. There's lots of contributing factors to that. We can talk about that later. But people want that good quality beer, but they don't want to pay a ridiculous amount for it. And they can do that at home
Do it
now.
at home. That's right. And those all-in-one range systems, if you've got the time to do that, like beer just turns out sensation.
Yeah.
But if I don't have time to do one of those, I'll just punch down a word kit. And I might use that as a base. You know, I don't necessarily follow the instructions of it. I might use a different yeast just to see what different flavours you get, different hops, and see what different flavours you get. And that's what it's all about. You can make what you want. You can please yourself. It's the best hobby in the world, I reckon.
Oh, that's right. And you're not restricted. Jess and I spoke about the importance to brewing to style. I've really changed my idea on that because to me, brewing a beer that I like
Yep.
and that I'm going to really enjoy, that's more important.
Yep.
And so if you are going to use like a pilly base that ends up being an XPA or something, you're not held down or restricted by the things on a can or a box or malt even.
We get customers all the time and they pick the can up and they're reading the instructions on the cans. Don't worry about the instructions. We're going to do it like this. Now, the yeast packet says, it'll ferment at 28 degrees. No, we're not fermenting.
Have you got a gripe with that too?
No, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
But also even the equipment that's out there now, like the pressure fermenting, that's just changed the game.
And relatively affordable too.
Yeah. It's not that much more, and to do it properly might be, what we can buy a starter kit for $100.
Yeah.
Even $20. You could spend $300 and have everything that you need, and you can get beers will go from here to here.
And I don't think necessarily that for people who are coming in at entry level, like it's almost Father's Day.
Yep.
If mum buys you a starter kit or, don't be deterred by that. It's still a great kind of entry.
Yeah.
But
you'll always use it.
Oh, 100%. But I think that, the equipment that we have, which a long time ago would have been super expensive, it may not even have been accessible.
Yeah.
I can remember when the pressure fermenters first kind of came
Yeah.
out. Like, it wasn't that long ago. It's so much more accessible to the everyday person now.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, as you said, the quality is heaps better.
Takes it up. All right, so next on my list was collaboration. So I think our industry is kind of stuck in the dark ages sometimes. We don't see a lot of collaboration between brew shops or anyone in the industry for that matter. So what we're doing is, I guess, really unique. Now, I personally love that. I want to bring as many people together as possible, and I think collaboration over competition sets us all up for success every day.
Yeah, for sure. It's that old rising tide, floats all ships sort of scenario. Yeah, I think it's really, really important. Don't look at the other brew shops as the enemy. All work together and build this industry with something pretty special.
And so what does collaboration mean, I guess, for the health of the homebrew industry? So not just, eventually it comes around, but the industry as a whole, by us working together, by other shops working together, what does it do for our community, our brewers?
Well, knowledge for one thing. Like, your idea of brewing might be different to my idea of brewing. And you bounce ideas off each other, and that feeds back to the customer.
Yeah.
And that, in turn, helps to grow the industry because they're trying something that, they said it, crafty taste, and they're trying something that, Stu said it, you can't say it.
Or they combine the two.
Or they combine the two. This works.
I don't claim to be right.
No.
My common theme is I don't know much about much.
Yep. And there's so much info out there, and that's something I do try to tell people, don't get bogged down.
Yes.
Keep it basic, keep it simple to get started. And then when you're away, you'll know more than me by the end of it. That's cool. Unreal.
And I think the more information, good quality information that we are putting out there does flow on to the community.
Yeah.
So whether it is just brewers and they're learning, good condensed quality information, that then helps other brew shops because you have, someone's got on our channel or your socials and gone, okay, yeah, true, I can't brew this ale can at 28 degrees. Yep, I'm going to switch it out for a nice American ale yeast or whatever they've chosen. They've brewed it at 20, 22. And, then they're like, you know what, this is great. And then that then follows on to they've come back to that brew shop.
Yep.
They've continued brewing rather than, it's been brewed at 30 degrees. Tastes like
Tastes like
this.
ass. Yeah. And I'm never brewing again. Yep. Yeah.
Now, I know you guys do a lot within your own community. So we've spoken about, I guess, the brewing community as a whole. So you've got your own brew club, which is super exciting.
Brew club, yep.
You do some great tutorials online. I've noticed that you volunteered your time for local competitions.
Yep.
How does that play into your big, your ultimate goal of brewing in the community and what you guys are trying to achieve?
Just trying to get it out there that it's easy. It's not hard. And the results are unreal. That's my goal. Like, as I said before, it's not about sitting there on the deck getting pissed, but sitting around with your mates and what we're doing here today. Just talking shit and
that's right.
Watching Queensland beat New South Wales again.
And it's amazing what comes out of having good beer and a good chat.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see where we can take this.
Yep.
And you don't know what the end product is. And I think that I'll put this in now and we'll touch on it again. If there's anything that we do inspire you throughout this video or the audio if you listen to the podcast, put it down, let us know. And it also then helps us to go on and do bigger, better things and keep focusing on that.
Yep. It helps us to grow the industry as well, hearing from you guys. So, reach out. Don't be shy.
And so on that, what specific message do you want the listeners or brewers to take away from our conversation today?
Geez, that's a tough one. Is that on the run script? Just fucking make that up.
I stumped you. No, actually, I did. I did let you know. We do have notes, guys. We've got a
what
cheat
message
sheet.
do we want listeners and other brewers to take from this? Again, it's about bringing people together, and having some fun along the way.
Yeah, and that home brewing, like, yes, we're making great piss, and that is great. The relaxation, the being able to kind of step away, like, especially if you're going to the extent of all grain, you can literally zone out for 4 hours.
Like 4 or 5 hours. And
there's some people that need that.
Yep.
And I never thought I would be this passionate about beer.
Yep.
But I know what the industry has given me.
Yeah.
And I just think I can share that with as many people as I can, and they can feel what I feel about it and the joy.
It extends to like going to breweries and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like it's good to know that, that tastes like, it's got caramel in it. Oh, they've used citra hops in that. Like, I enjoy that side of it as well.
And being able to join, I guess, the line between like, what commercial breweries are using and what we're using ourselves as homebrewers. Like, I love that aspect.
And I think it feeds, homebrewers also help to feed the brewing industry as a whole, because they'll go and try your favourite local breweries UXBA that just put out.
Well, as I said to Stu, like, this was the beer that got me liking dark beers. These are my local brewery, so shout out to them. That exploration into craft beer, and now if you've watched previous episodes, Jesse and I for the last few months have cracked some type of dark lager or IPA, and that's given me so much inspiration to make my own.
Yeah.
And I think that's exciting too. And what we're doing is we're feeding that craft beer industry, which ultimately does feed back to us. I believe. All right, so now on to the practical stuff. One piece of advice every beginner brewer should know.
Your job, you don't make beer. You make wort. Yeast makes beer.
That's a good... I haven't heard that.
So your job is to give the yeast the best possible environment you can to produce good beer.
Oh, I might steal that from you.
I stole it off somebody.
Good. I actually like, because I harp on so much like temperature control, sterilize your shit.
Yeah.
But that's very true. Like, we're creating the environment for those little yeast.
The yeast is to do their job.
That's right.
And they're only going to do a good job if they're in a good environment.
All right, a myth or bad advice you would like to bust?
Bad advice. Bad advice. Bad advice. How much bad advice have I had? So much bad advice. What do you got?
Well, my first thought is on the back of certain extract cans where it tells people they can ferment to 30 degrees.
Yep.
One day, I don't even want to give the time of day, but I do feel like throwing a heat belt on it, brewing it at 30, temperature controlling another batch at 18 degrees. Actually, not even using the yeast under the tin, because I don't ever use that. But, throwing in an ale yeast compared to what is under the tin.
Both on tap and say, this is what this tastes like, and that's what that tastes like.
Because, if we just want to sell shit, cool, grab your can. Use just a plain kilo of Debs.
Yep.
Use the yeast under the tin. If you are focused on just sending shit out the door, that's great.
Yep.
Brew it at whatever temperature you like. Sanitizer, oh mate, use some dishwashing liquid.
Yeah. Nappy sand, there we go.
Vinegar. Have you never heard vinegar?
I know that one.
Vinegar as a sanitizer?
Yeah, right. Oof.
Nappy sand's expensive
Tastes
too.
like hot chips, is it? I don't know.
Well, if you compare nappy sand to sodium carbonate, sodium percarbonate, nappy sand's actually heaps more expensive.
Yeah, right. And those sanitizers are out now. You're going to need like 2 mil to a litre. So I'll last for ages.
Yeah, there's so much out there. And I just think I want to make good beer.
Yeah.
I want people...
Consistently.
Yeah, and people to be like proud of what they make. And yeah, sometimes that means spending a couple of extra bucks.
Yep.
I don't want to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I've made a huge amount of money selling Dex and extract cans this year. Woohoo, people.
I want to see him come in, bring a sample and go, Stu, what do you reckon about this?
Look what I made.
Mate, you've nailed it.
Yeah, so
No, that's what it's all about.
So we kind of touched on this in terms of starter kits, pressure fermenters, and I guess timestamp this one and send it to your significant other or whatever if this is where you want to, what you want for Father's Day, because that's coming up. What is in your beginner's home brew kit?
Okay. If someone's coming to the shop for the first time, I don't necessarily just show them a starter kit and say jump in this. I've always got something fermenting in the shop, whether that be in a grain father fermenter or a pressure fermenter, and I'll take them through the whole sequence.
Yep.
I think a starter kit needs a temperature controller, it needs a heat belt, and it needs pressure fermenter.
There's nothing, I think, on the market that kind of includes all of that. Like, no one does it as a whole, do they? Like, we see more about starter kits.
We do our own packages in the store, but it's not. No, it's starter kits are starter kits, and they're great. You'll always use the starter kit, but if I can get someone to start pressure fermenting straight away, I reckon they'll always get a better result with it.
I love my
and kegging.
Oh, kegging! Do you know what? So this speaks to my level of privilege, and I am aware that have been very privileged. The closest to bottling I've ever come to was, once again, being very little, pulling down Jace's cupboard. But you have kids to use them for labour, so good on him.
Yep.
We probably did it wrong, and we probably just nagged, and he had to redo it. That is the only, as far as bottling I've ever come to. I've always kegged, and I think sometimes good bottled conditioned beer, yes, can taste great and just as good. Kegging gives you this cleanness, crispness that secondary fermentation just doesn't achieve.
Can't do it. That's it. I bottled a beer month ago. Did a Chimay Blue in the grain father. And we thought, we won't keg it, we'll bottle it and then age it and try it in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever. What a fucking nightmare. Give me kegs any day of the week.
Yeah. Especially if you're pressure fermenting.
Yeah, straight across, closed transfer. Nice.
And then you got to store them.
Yep.
You got to be
everywhere.
Of temperature.
Carbonation can be tricky,
I think I've had some comments were like, oh, you're fucking snooty. Of course you can. Some of us can't afford to. And I'm like, how could, once again, maybe I'm speaking to my level of privilege here, but kegging to me is actually super affordable. And
absolutely.
The time and, especially if you're replacing your bottles, PET bottles should be replaced every about 6 brews.
Yeah, sort of run 5 or 6 year on it.
Glass, who knows, depending if you've got your flip tops or whatever, crownies, you're constantly replacing them, your carb drops or, whatever your priming sugar is. Once you've got your keg, if you have a keg, regulator and CO2 bottle, you're probably looking at about $300 to $400.
Yep.
If you've got a pressure fermenter, if you really want to, you can actually dispense out of there anyway. So if you want to keep costs down.
Dump the tub off and just carbonate that.
CO2 is piss cheap.
Yeah.
Per keg.
Yeah.
For the time you say, all the stuff around with bottles, kegging actually pays for itself.
Okay, what?
Very quickly.
I suppose it depends how much you drink, but you get your money back in 12 months.
I reckon less. Maybe I drink more.
Probably right. Yeah, too much.
But yeah, and the thing is, buy, you don't want a fancy kegerator? Cool. Don't want a big font? Awesome. Get a Pluto gun,
Get an old
a second-hand fridge, and a corny keg.
Yeah.
It's not that, it doesn't have to be expensive.
That's where you start. And then, if it's working for you, then we upgrade later on.
Yeah. Go, if you really are worried about costs, the PET kegs.
Yep.
Now, I do run one, actually, I use a chubby fermenter in one of my kegerators at home as a keg. I do prefer the cornies, but for someone who's like, I've really got a budget to stick to, I would much rather you have
Well, they're like
a fermenter.
$40 or something, those plastic ones.
I don't know off the top of my
Sure.
head. I don't know. We use a POS system, so I don't have to
Yeah.
memorize. But, you know, there's options out there, and talk to your local home brew shop. You know, this isn't a plug of like, go check out our websites. It's walk in, what are your options?
Yeah.
What type of budget do you have? What type of kit do you want? And what's your ideal? And let's make steps to get there.
And we'll get you there. For the education and some guidance, and you'll be making great beer.
So, bigger picture, being unique and being more than just any old brew shop is the motto I have lived by. Our industry can really lack behind the times. So, what do you guys do to be different? Because ultimately, that difference, the bringing unique things to the industry, just grows the industry.
Yeah. So, experimenting at home and experimenting in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Quite often on a Saturday morning, the grain trail will be running and we'll be making a beer, so they get the smells and the sensation.
Yeah.
As far as growth for the industry, education, but simple. Like, keep it simple. Like, people try and overcomplicate it too much.
And I know you said to me, your lovely wife gets the phone out, like, smile, and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Trying to have a beer, and I'm trying to watch the footy. She'll take a photo, stick it on Facebook.
And the videos, like, you do great videos. And there's not many of, I probably can count, well, off the top of my head, I can think of 3. You and I are one of them.
Yep.
There's not many of us. Zach would be my third.
How good are his videos? I love his videos. I love that dude.
You know, there's not many. And, you know, our industry is very, very niche and small.
Yep.
The more of us that can get behind and be like, hey, okay, so this is commercial beer, so it doesn't do much for it. But hey, this is what I've made. Yep. This is what you can make. You do beer math. I do home brew math. Our industry is fucking fantastic.
Yeah, it's the best fun. It
doesn't take a lot of time, and it's just the more we can give back to listeners, to brewers, to the community.
Listening to the customers too, like some of my guys are total beer nerds, and they know more than me about it.
Yeah.
Well, I enjoy conversation with them, and they bring in samples, and I've got one old mate there, I'm sure he knows who I'm talking about. I won't name him, and he does epic brews. You know, and he's a total beer nerd, but you don't have to go that far.
Jess and I have joined the Home Brew Club.
Yep.
And like, I'm so far out of my depth.
Yep.
Like, I listen, oh shit, that could have been nasty. I listen to the boys, and I know they are the epitome.
I've gone to local home brew club in Ely, and they're talking in Swahili and Australian. Huh?
And if you want to take it that far, awesome.
Yeah.
More power to you.
I'm not.
I'm not that clever.
No, I'm not doing it.
But there's you can take it so far, but you don't need to be like that. You don't need to know the specific esters that a specific strain of yeast or the polyphenols, or if you want to, awesome.
Then there was a guy the other day I heard about that was total beer nerd, and he was harvesting his own yeast from his mum's garden.
That's interesting. My brew club actually has a YouTube video about, so Dan Pedler is his name. He has a whole wild yeast collection.
Yeah, right. Unreal.
I'll send you the link and you can pass it on because he might be interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
So has he got any good ones?
Oh, he's not sharing yet. I'm working on it.
We actually had a conversation at our last meeting, I think it was 2 Tuesdays ago, and just the life cycle. And so this is I'm a bit adverse to wild yeast experimenting. Yeah. And if you are, do it small batch, do it in something probably very small and just the life cycle. Like you get one year strain and your first batch is like amazing. And then second gen, third gen, all of a sudden you've got acetone nail polish remover because the
Stressed.
or the one strain that's there, you know, you had a little bit of good strain, which was great. And then the strain that's now prominent is dog shit.
Yeah.
So if you do just like to look at that, be cautious, I guess, would be our advice.
Reusing yeast too. I've done it.
Do you like it? Because it's something that I've never bought. I find
It's
yeast
convenient.
cheap enough.
Yeah, yeast is cheap. I sort of did it as a bit of an experiment, just for the dry yeast, fed it, did an EPA, and just chucked an EPA work kit on top of it when I transferred it out. Came up unreal.
Yeah, nice.
Would I do it again? No. Would I reuse that yeast the third time? Probably not.
Yeah.
There's shit like that you can do all the time. Play around with it.
And so where do you see homebrewing heading in the next 5 years, potentially 10 years?
So I'm hoping that it grows, and I'm starting to think that maybe we as homebrew stores and as an industry need to look at smaller batch of it.
Yeah, nice.
I think it's pretty big in the States.
Yeah, and I always wondered why. Like I see them fermenting in like demijohns
And stuff.
5 litre. I always threw around the idea that they're doing that because they also don't have excise tax set.
Yeah.
They're doing smaller batch because they are really experimenting and they don't want 20 litres. They also probably don't have the drinking culture that we do.
Yeah, for sure. So I see it. Yeah, that's where we got to head.
Small batch.
I reckon some more small batch stuff.
And what role do you think we as homebrew shops play in keeping homebrewing accessible to the everyday brewer?
Stay open, be one thing.
And that's...
Support your local shop. Like, if you can't get what you want locally and they won't source it for you, by all means go online and order. But before you jump online straight away, go into your local homebrew shop, have a yarn on, and try and support it, because they might be able to get it in for you if they don't have it.
And you can jump online and come in contact with all of this different content out there.
Yep.
And that's great. Nothing will be as valuable as sitting there, having a chat to the owner of your brew shop and getting your specific questions answered.
Yep.
Really nutting out. Most of the time, we've all got samples. You can even have a beer.
That's it. Have a beer in there.
And
we only push stuff that we use or that I know works.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying before, there'll be a stainless steel fermenter hooked up to a glycol chiller. There'll be a plastic pressure fermenter in a temperature controlled fridge. There'll be an old school fermenter putting a ginger beer or something down the corner. That experience for a customer, I think, is super important.
Yeah, and you can see it. You can smell
See
it.
it, smell it. Well, what are you doing there?
You know, like we both have online stores.
Yep.
They are great. There is a place because there is people rurally or, you know, wherever that don't have local homebrew shops. I think over the last, 2-3 years, probably closer to 3 years, we have seen a reduction in homebrew shops.
Yep.
There have been homebrew shops that have had to close their door, and that is just so devastating.
It's pretty sad.
Not only for them, but also for the industry.
Because that's info lost. That's knowledge lost.
All right, so fun and a bit personal. If you were married to a style, what style would you drink for him?
You're a sexy Nipa.
A sexy Nipa.
Love a Nipa. You?
I love an XPA.
Yeah.
Light, easy. You have a few. Sometimes I find Nipas to be a bit heavy, depending on where they are.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can be a bit of a lightweight, so I've got to be careful.
And wintertime, I love a red.
Yeah. We actually just put down a red IPA, which I know is late.
Yep.
But I think it's got a bit of mosaic. It's got some fun citrus hops, and I just thought, great transition
Those hoppy
between.
reds, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, really nice. If your brewing had a style, if your brewing style had a personality, how would you describe it?
My brewing style personality. You'd love to have heaps of fun.
Yeah, good.
Gotta have fun. Gotta enjoy it.
All right. So for those people listening, if they are not home brewers yet, why should they brew their first beer?
They're gonna save some money. Gonna make new friends. I've made so many friends on a board.
Look, you and me become friends.
That's it. These people rang me that I hadn't heard from in years. Hey, you got a brew shop, man.
Yeah, nice.
You're gonna save coin. That's obvious. You're gonna have heaps of fun with it.
Yeah.
And you can make it to what you like.
And you can make new friends.
And you make new friends.
All right. Advice for keeping the passion alive long term.
Keep experimenting. Don't let it go stale. A lot of people come into the shop. Oh, I haven't brewed for 6 months. I just got busy again.
Don't drop the ball.
Don't drop the ball. Yeah, don't drop.
You forget very quickly how good a good hoppy hazy that you've made is when you've been drinking Great Northerns
Yes.
for 6 months.
And if you want to drink Great Northern, I can show you how to make Great Northern. No dramas, if that's what you want to do.
And what's next for Noble Barrow?
What's next for Noble Barons? I've sort of got a little bit of a project happening where I'm looking at selling kegged beer out of the shop.
Oh, good on you.
There's a little bit about.
Yeah.
But yeah, sadly there was a one of those brewed by you guys. I don't know if you
Oh, yes, I have seen.
There's
They're
one down in
online,
there.
aren't they?
think they are. But
Yeah.
you can go in and brew with them.
Oh, okay,
Then
like
you
a
get-
brew on premise.
Yeah, brew on premise thing. And sadly they had to close. So there's sort of no one doing that. So that could be a thing too.
That's really
But
exciting.
yeah, we're going to start punching out one of these and selling them as kits.
Yeah, good
That's
on
next.
you. That's wonderful. Well, I don't really have
Good.
anything else. What am I gonna do? My focus.
Big brother doing it, or little brother?
Little brother.
Little brother.
Maybe.
Punching out all those grains now, isn't he? He loves his oats and his lactose.
He loves his oats. Jesse loves a high ABV beer. That's why he's so big. And lucky because he can handle it.
Yeah, puts it away.
I cannot. He's really into, I guess, growing his knowledge in
Yeah.
brewing. So I finished up on the retail side at Crafted Taste a bit over 18 months ago. Jesse started about 18 months
Yeah,
ago.
okay.
So I pissed off. Jesse switched in. So
Taking over the reins, yeah.
he's enjoying the learning, all the nitty gritty.
Yep.
He never did a lot of
Science behind it all. Yeah.
he never did a lot of all grain, so that's where he's jumped now. For me, my focus is doing exactly what we are now.
Yeah.
I want to get the word out. I want to show people a side of brewing that no one's seen before. I want to bring things that other industries have that home brewing hasn't seen.
Yeah.
How can we bring in things that work? And it's not just for us, but we all take inspiration from each other. How can we grow this industry to be as good as the craft beer?
Yeah.
We're such a small niche.
Yeah, that's it.
I want
We've
to
got
be
that
bigger.
small population, so
And I think we're about 1 or 2% of the general population.
Yeah,
Is it 2%, 2.5%?
Yeah, something like that.
Sonny would know. Sonny knows. She's a stat lady.
Oh, that's
But I don't actually know. But we're very small.
Yeah.
I want big.
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk down the street and be like, that person home brews.
Yep.
Not have to look around for the home brewer in the brew. Awesome. So how can listeners find you, follow along? Where do they find you?
Where do they find me? We're on Facebook.
Yep.
We're on Instagram. I think my boss has got me on TikTok.
Good on you.
I think
And you've got a great website.
we've got a website, newcastlebrewshop.com, or Noble Barrows, No Brew Supplies. Google that. It'll pop up.
We'll also put all the links to
Yeah,
everything in the
sweet.
show notes. I think that's the best bet.
Yeah.
Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed this.
It's been unreal.
It has been great. If you have any sentiments that you would like to share or comments, please list them below. We'll keep an eye out. If we have any questions, I guess we can answer them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we will leave it there.
Cool.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.